Welcome back. Still tuned in to News and Views. The time is 8:40, and we turn our attention to our hashtag Africa Focus segment. This is a part of the show where we track the continent's biggest stories. And this time around, the DRC is in the spotlight again. Tensions are once again flaring after the United Nations accused Rwanda of aiding M23 rebels in a massacre that left at least 319 civilians dead in North Kivu province last month. The UN's Human Rights Office says it has first-hand accounts that Rwandan forces supported M23 fighters during a series of attacks between July 9th and July 21st. Killings that took place on farms across Ruchuru territory. Well, Kigali has rejected all the allegations outright, calling them false and unacceptable, and accusing the UN of undermining peace efforts. This comes as Congo, Rwanda, and the M23 rebels had been working, at least on paper, we can say, towards a ceasefire deal in Doha, Qatar. With an August 18th deadline, which is around next week for a permanent agreement. But there's still clashes continuing and millions of displaced civilians still unable to return home. The road to peace looks increasingly fragile, but we remain hopeful. And joining me now is Didier Kabwe from the Congolese Solidarity Campaign. And he's going to be helping us unpack what's really happening on the ground and what this means for Congo's future. Didier, thank you so much for joining us. Really, really appreciate you giving us your time this morning, and always a pleasure having you on air.
Good morning, Silailo. Morning to your viewers too.
I think we can kickstart the conversation, Didier, with the headline. The UN says M23 rebels with Rwandan support killed over 300 civilians last month. Rwanda, I think, as expected, calls those claims false and unacceptable. What's your read on this accusation and of Kigali's denial also?
Thank you for Silailo. It is not a surprise seeing Rwanda denying the killings. This is part of what they've been doing more than 30 years. So it is not a surprise. But a good side for Congolese is the fact that UN is coming on board and reporting the killings of Congolese in Eastern DRC. So for us, it is not a surprise to see Rwanda denying. Rwanda has been doing that for many years, and they even not accept that the army, Rwanda's army, is in DRC. So it is not a surprise for Congolese.
You are in Kinshasa right now. From a South African perspective, I know it's some 30 odd hours away. From what you are gathering, as you know, by our standards, you're the closest one. What are you hearing from people in North Kivu about who could have been responsible for these killings? You've been following this conflict quite closely. Are there any, utterances, any evidence that is, can be proven from victims, firsthand, who saw this in real time about Rwanda's possible involvement?
We are having report from local people from Kivu, those who had the chance to flee away from those massacres, and the report is very dramatic. The report is very dramatic, and they testifying that rebels helped by Rwanda's army were killing people, and that is not it is unbelievable. So the situation is chaotic in the space that is under M23 backed by Rwanda. So it's very the report that we're having there is very dramatic, very dramatic.
Hmm. And dramatic as one can imagine. One thing that is of concern is if Rwanda's forces were involved in this mass killing, what does it ultimately do or mean for the ceasefire talks that are currently underway?
Yeah, this is a clear signal that they are not ready to respect the ceasefire and the agreement from Doha. And we know that they will not, they will never be ready to respect Doha's agreement. And we personally, I doubt uh, the that Rwanda is able to respect Doha's agreements.
Mm. Mm. And that's the concerning part, because that deadline of August the 18th for a permanent peace deal is just a few days away, and that doesn't look like there's any kind of realistic momentum that is taking place. What do you make of it thus far? That peace process, do you believe is still realistic, given the latest violence that we've been seeing?
I remember, as I was saying last time, um, the international community has a crucial role to force Rwanda to to abide to the agreement of Doha, because that is if we need to protect our region, we need to protect our countries, and for the benefits of the world, and international community has that obligation to force Rwanda to abide to those agreements. And we know, as I said last time, the tactics of Rwanda is to delay, or either to say it is not us a problem. The problem is the government of Congo doesn't want to respect these agreement. Remember, one of the conditions that Rwanda was putting on the table is the fact that government of Kinshasa need to have dialogue with rebels in Eastern DRC. Yes, dialogue must be there, but that is not concerning Rwanda. So why Rwanda should be involved in DRC politics? What is that the condition for Rwanda to remove all his soldiers in Eastern DRC? I'm not sure. So those are the tactics that we know from Rwanda to delay or to boycott the agreement.
No,
Yes.
definitely. We're going to leave it on that note, Didier. Always a pleasure chatting to you. Really, really appreciate you giving us the time and giving us insights on the latest when it comes to the M23, Rwanda, and DRC dynamics that are currently unfolding.
Thank you, Selailo.
That was Didier Kabwe from the Congolese Solidarity Campaign, coming to us live from Kinshasa, speaking on those damning allegations and denials and deepening mistrust that are threatening to unravel the fragile peace efforts in the Democratic Republic of Congo. And what's concerning is that deadline for permanent ceasefire is fast approaching, the 18th of August, and the stakes could not be any higher for civilians in North Kivu, out in the DRC, the millions and millions that have been displaced, and just generally for the stability of Central Africa as a whole. I think it's a story to look with very, very keen focus, especially here in South Africa, considering just how involved we've been in the DRC instability, war, whatever you want to call it, but a situation that has gone on for far too long, I think we can all agree, and has affected millions and millions of Africans in that part of the continent. And yeah, it's one that we need to, keep tracking, because it's important that there should be peace in the DRC. Because as I always mention, there'll always be a spillover. And this time around, from a South African's point of view, it has touched us very personally, because we've lost members of the SANDF in the DRC. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see if there'll be that permanent ceasefire peace agreement by the 18th. We'll be looking at that quite closely and giving you the latest. But otherwise, going to Didier for now. After the break, we shift our geopolitics and ask, why is South Africa doubling down on its ties with Iran? This is despite pressure from the United States. What does that relationship mean for us? There's an interesting development. Tune in after the break.